Hello, my name is Stephen Wright. I'm a career coach here at Career Mentor, and we help high-performing financial services professionals make their next smart career move. So as people are now beginning to go back into the office, perhaps full-time or perhaps using a flexible working system, it may well have occurred to a number of people that it might be time to have a step change in their career. Now, there might be many reasons why you want to have that step change, but becoming really crystal clear about what the reason for wanting to have a step change in your career is really important, because being certain about that, being very clear about the reasons, will see you through the good times and bad on the journey that you're about to take. Now, it may be that you want to move to something that you find more fulfilling. It may be that you want to live your life in a different way, perhaps adding a large component of remote working with that. It may be that you've been unemployed for some time and just found it really difficult to get back into the old field that you were once in. So it's time to say, okay, I'm going to change my direction and I'm going to look for something in a completely different area. It may also be that you simply have arrived at a different chapter in your life and an opportunity to work in a different way. So for whatever the reason might be, become crystal clear about why that is and know that that is a solid enough reason to want to make this change. I think there's a few other considerations as well. The next one is that you don't want to lose any momentum, or you want to lose as little career momentum as possible. So being able to repurpose your ability to add value to a job is really important. One way that you can do that is to create a fantastic and compelling value proposition. And that's really done by doing an audit of all your skills and all your ability to add value, and then shape that into a number of messages which together become your value proposition, which you believe will be a compelling thing for the audience that you have in mind to want to hear about. So get your value proposition sorted out so you can repurpose the skills that you have and not lose momentum. That then leads on to point number 3, which is that you may well discover that as you think about the area that you want to move into, there is in fact a skills gap. You don't have the right qualifications, or you don't have the right knowledge in order to make that transfer, in which case it's pretty straightforward that you would need to go and find the right courses and qualifications which future employers in that area are going to find interesting, going to find necessary, and then go and do the courses, get the qualifications, so that you can affect that move. And the next point, therefore, comes from that, and that is that if you can transport some of the credibility that you currently have in your current job to the new area, then that's going to be very useful. An example of this is that some time ago, I worked with a really great guy who had been in equity sales, and he decided that he wanted to go into compliance. There was a skills gap which he closed by getting the right qualifications, but also he arrived with great credibility because, having been on the front line of equity sales and having worked with people in compliance before, he had that credibility that he could bring with him to that job. So try and utilize any credibility that you might have into the new area that you're going into. Point number 5 is to think about remuneration. It may be that if you're making a step change in your career, that the way in which people get paid is just very different from how you might have been rewarded before, and it might be less. And if it is less, then obviously we understand that there is going to need to be some adjustments in the way in which you conduct your lifestyle and so on. So just be aware that remuneration is a big consideration here, and it needs to be able to support the way in which you want to live going forward. The final point is that you want your plan to be realistic, and a plan that's realistic and robust is going to make sure that this is going to be an effective and successful move. One way to make sure that your plan is robust is to try and identify people who have already made the move from where you are to where you want to go. And if at all possible, you want to speak to them so that you can understand the challenges that you may not have already foreseen, but that they have experienced, and how they overcame those challenges. So by modeling people who have already been down that path is a way of making sure that you've got a realistic and robust plan. I hope you found that useful. I'll be putting the blog that I wrote about this in the comments below, and thanks very much.